What was the worst experience you've had in corporate? And just kind of explain like what made it the worst experience. What was the worst experience you've had?
I can tell you right off the bat, I was working for a big family-owned shoe company. And they brought in this manager that I just could not stand. I mean, could not stand because she was racist. And she was overly, blatantly racist. And there was a moment where she had made a comment during the Million Man March. Well, wouldn't it be great if they just dropped the bomb out there right now? And I'm an assistant manager. I'm 19 years old. This is who they bring into my store. I'm out. And I switched companies. I went to another company. And I walked into another pile of BS because in small retail, the way it was set up during this time, you got the store manager, you got assistant manager, and then you got this other person they call a third key. Not really a manager, but they got a key and they can do some manager functions. So I walk into a situation not knowing that the manager and the third key is screwing each other. So I leave from a bad situation to a worse situation because I walked in, I'm brand new, and they go to lunch, and there was days they go to lunch and don't come back. I don't need to take a lunch or take a break or anything. And this is as soon as I get there, but I was immature in my reaction, but I had it. I had absolutely had it. And I called the HR line one day and I gave the HR line an earful. And I end up getting fired because of how I was being mistreated. I should have sued him. That's what I should have done. I should have sued him. I should have went straight to the EOC and I should have sued him for firing me, but also allowing that situation to go on when they knew it was a problem before I got there. And I found that out too, that they knew this was already a problem before they brought me in. But that was my situation. Now, one good thing I can say, I met my wife there, so my family structure wouldn't be what it is. And I was only there for 2 months.
The only one that I could say that was bad was with my first job. I worked at a fast food company when I first started working, and it's already an environment where you're dealing with stress. This one particular time, me and a few guys that I knew, we were working for this manager. He was, for some strange reason, he just felt he needed to be a little more assertive on that day. And the whole morning crew walked off the job. And they left dishes from that morning piled up in the back. So we had to prep the food, then clean up the mess that was back there. And it was only 2 of us that worked in the back. That night, it was 4 of us. At this particular fast food chain, after a game, like a high school game, it's like the spot to go to. And everybody just coming back and forth, back and forth. You like, gosh, you trying to cook and get it boxed up and, give it to her. That manager was liking at that time. So he was like, I don't know whatever y'all need to do, but y'all asses need to hurry up and get this shit done so we can get this stuff out here. So that moment, the guy that was in the back with me, he just slammed the doggone chicken down and said, you know what? Nah, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. He got there, took off his apron, threw it at him and said, I'm gone. And then he looked at me like, hey, well, I guess we got to get this done. I was like, I don't think so, buddy. I'm gone. Hell with this. Because it was all night he was kind of pushing us. But we got to get it done. We got to get it done. We got to get this done. No. And that's the key. And that was the key right there that made us say, hey, to hell with it. Because of the fact that he believed that his job was to be up front and making sure he was talking to the customers more than just coming back there and trying to help us, because he knew that the whole crew had left. So why wouldn't you make sure that everybody is getting that help as a team? That was my second worst instance.
All right, Chris.
Me going through a black book as a man trying to find which good story to talk about. I got
oh yeah, go for it.
I got multiple stories. So it's like I can start way at the beginning all the way to my last job. You know what I'm saying? Like I was at high school. I remember working at General Farm, and it wasn't even like racism. It was a black lady and she was just on it. I don't know why she was on it, and I was probably about 17, 18, something like that. And it was like a summer job, and the machine was broken. We were making Easter eggs, and I remember I kept trying to, man, the machine was broke, and it was pushing them out like boom, 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 boom. And it supposed to be like boom, boom, boom. But it's like boom, 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 boom. So I'm like trying to, and it keep falling on the floor, and she keep coming back and was just snapping at me. You ain't to a point to where I kept trying to do it. You go home. We don't need you. And then like another lady who was supervising, but she was watching the whole situation. So they put somebody else on it. And the same thing happened to them. And they were somebody who'd been there way before me, and they couldn't keep up with it. And the lady was like, look, she don't know what she's doing. She shouldn't be talking to you like this. I'm a supervisor too. Go over to her superiors and tell them. But I was like, man, forget it. But it was just you doing all the work, but they want to fuss. And that taught me to work with the people. I can't stand somebody who's over me and ain't willing to get down and work like me. I can only respect you if you can get off your high horse and come down and work like me. But that was just one of the first incidents at a job. And that was the first time getting fired for trying my best at trying to do something that was broken. But you were so much in your ego and your title, because sometimes you give a person a title and they get power. They just don't know how to act with it. They just go, because they can be cool when they with you and y'all at the same level. Soon as they get that power, turn from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde is a whole different person. And that goes with money and anything. You get a broke person, y'all broke, they cool as a fan. You throw some money in their hand, they become worse than Donald Trump. I'm just telling you some real stuff. Their whole personality changed, their talk changed, and you can see how something so immature can manipulate a mind, or just a title or some money. And the thing is, a title is just a piece of paper or a position they gave you. The money ain't nothing but a tool. It's just a green piece of ink, man, with a racist person face on it, but you make it your God. Like it just possesses you and take it over you. I utilize money as a tool. So I look at somebody, and I really say this a lot because I hope somebody catch on to this when I say this. Because this ain't maybe for who's on the panel, but if it's somebody listening, money ain't nothing but a tool. It's no different than me having a little pickup truck and you got a whole tractor trailer. All it is a tool. You got a better position that you can do more with your tractor trailer than I can do with my little pickup truck. That's all money is a tool. It's not a God. It shouldn't possess you. You should know how to go out and use it and to your benefit and live a prosperous, a good life, or maybe help somebody. It's nothing to go crazy about or murder somebody behind a piece of paper and with a racist man on it. It's some ink. And don't get confused with the system, because the system printed. It printed when they need it, but they'll tell you they can't print no more. All it is monopoly money, and they put it's a federal note. It's not a gold seal. It's not a silver seal. I know I'm talking on sideways, but it's just a piece of toilet paper. You can wipe your tail off. The same thing. You take a piece of toilet paper and you got the right ink and the right bar. You can print the whole toilet paper the same way. It's just a piece of shitty paper. All right, now let's go back to the story. But I'm just gonna skip to my last job. I had in my mind where I wanted to be at in this particular job, and the gentleman who was helping me, he was retiring, so I was like his prodigy. Which I had worked before him and I got to this same position, but now I'm working through him on another company trying to get to the same position. And I'm grinding, and it was a small business, and we did a lot of labor work to build the business, but the business bought another company in the process of us building this business up. So I'm getting trained to run this building, and that. And as we merge, the first thing we started seeing is that they moved all the white people in the office and took all the black people and moved them out, to the field. And we so that was the first flag, like, whoa, what's going on? Oh yeah, we gonna move up, and I started realizing now I'm getting all these buildings, which I shouldn't have that many buildings, because you now are firing all these area managers, and now you throwing all these extra buildings on me. I'm going to work in the morning and I'm getting home after 12 sometimes, and I'm doing multiple buildings, and I can't even I'm running from building to building to building to building to building, but you ain't giving me no more pay. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know, when you get buildings like this, you're supposed to get percentages of doing the building. I'm not getting none of that. And one of the people who they gave me the area in Newport News, they had a nervous breakdown because it was too much on them. I went out Newport News and took on all these dealerships and these other buildings, and I fixed everything out there. To make a long story short, a situation came down because I told the person who was the one had the nervous breakdown not to do such and such, because they sent me to another building to do some cleaning, and I had to scrub these floors at this other dealership. I told her, don't fire the gentleman. She didn't like the gentleman, all because he would come to work at night and had a wave cap on. But the funny thing is, I guess it kind of made her feel a certain way that he was ghetto or whatever. But the funny thing was, the gentleman, his wife was white. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like tripping. He was black, but he had a white. He was from like North Carolina or something. And she fired him, and she brought in these 3 girls. And these 3 girls were young, very immature, and ghetto. And I mean, I ain't just trying to like really talk about somebody, but the first thing was, we in a professional dealership, and I come to work, and these girls got on a white beater with their breasts hanging out, and they got the shorts with their vagina showing out. And I'm like, wow. And dudes are walking around, white cats walking around like, wow, some of them looking like they kind of like this, but the women like, and I'm like, I'm scared to say something because they got this, to these women, because they could say anything on me. So I call her. I said, look, you need to come up here ASAP. I want you to see what I told you not to do. So she come up, she like this, and y'all can't be wearing this. To make a long story short, she didn't listen to me. The girls end up quitting. And they had some keys that we needed. And the keys were the only keys to this building that we could get in. So she's talking back to these girls, but somehow I'm in this group text. This is how crazy I want you to understand. This still to the day, I haven't figured this out. But the lady, she's white, and the boss dude at me, both of them white. Like I said, all the black people out. The girl wanted to get a check, and I put her check somewhere that she couldn't get it. The white dude, the boss man, told me and her, don't give her check until she give her the keys back. These keys over $100 and some a piece. We need these keys back. I said, okay, cool. They won't get a check till they get the key. She contacted her. Oh, you can get the keys. Just go to the security of the place. Blah, blah, blah. Chris put it such and such. I forward the text to the man. The thing that blew my mind was this. He got mad at me. And I'm like, hold up. I sent you the text showing that you are giving these ladies, she's giving the ladies the check. And you told us don't give her the check. I just want to inform you. So I forwarded the text to you to see what's going on, so you would know and be enlightened that she's giving her the checks. So he still blames me. I goes up there and try to talk to him. Oh, it's my fault for not training you properly. I was doing this when you were swimming in your daddy nut sacks. I've been doing this type work since I was 18. At the time, I'm like 50 years old. This dude who's running the company but 33 years old. Oh, it's my fault for not training you properly. And I'm like, do you understand what you're just saying to me? The girl who's white gave the check what you told us not to do, but you are blaming me for something that she's did. He's so blinded that all he sees is a black man that's trying to fix a situation that he blamed me. And at that point right there, I realized that I helped build up this company. And at that point right there, I started realizing I'm not going nowhere here, and this man don't respect me. And from here on out, I don't need to be here. If I can't be somewhere that somebody can respect me, and I'm showing them that I am trying to save what's going on so you don't have no problems and you don't have to pay all this mega money for the key, and you don't see the blindness in this, all you see is a black man, and you don't want to blame the right proper person who is doing the foulness on this job. And I went out there and you turned around and said I fixed something that she couldn't fix, and then you still turn around because she made a mistake, did something wrong, and you still blame me. it just took me back to like, America, that we 3/5 of a human in America, that I don't need to be here in this company because this company don't value me. It don't value. I'm up here trying to protect the company from throwing away money. I'm trying to do the right thing, and all you do is want to blame me for something that I didn't even do. To the dude who trained me, and I was under him, his prodigy. Basically, he had to go in there and fuss for me because he was like, "Do you understand what you're saying? Do you understand what you?" He kept fussing with the dude. He said, "Chris told you was basically he didn't even want to snitch. He just sent you a text." But the reason I did that because I knew her word could have been against my word, and she would have put it on top of me, and I would have took the fall anyway. But the point when he had the evidence that showed him that it was her, he still blamed me. And this is the blindness of America. And it's sad we got to say I'm black, but this is the blindness of America when you're working under a corporation. Some people, even though they think they're not racist, they've been groomed through the system of having the privilege of being a certain race in this corporation that they don't even know they're racist when they're racist. And that is the sad terminology that I had to learn through my last company. And like I said, I got multiple stories, but I just spoke about one in the last one. So I'm at a company now I'm real comfortable with. I don't have that type of situation. We sit down, we resolve things. We think we work together as a team. I try to be a team player with my last company, even though I had the position, but I was like a slave. And I didn't feel like, because I know in my mind, I sell herbs. In my mind, I can do my own thing. I can make my own money. Just like I told one of my bosses before, I can make money with you and I can make money without you, but you don't dictate my life. I learned that early in life. I never wanted to be, and I learned that being with big, doing these little businesses. I learned that the worst thing to have is somebody who's dictating your livelihood, because they can cut you off like this and then you struggling. It's better to have multiple businesses and multiple jobs and multiple ways of making money than relying on one source of money. When you rely on one source of money, that man is basically his property, because you would do whatever you got to do to keep your job. Some people don't have no morals. They will lose everything. If the man tell you to do this, and you know it ain't right and it's against your morals, but you would do it. Even when you see somebody did something wrong and you got to fire, that's a terrible position to be in a job. You got to fire somebody ain't did nothing, then somebody who's doing the dirt, and because he a different shade, you turn your eye on him and leave him alone. But the man you see working hard trying to take care of his family, you the same shade as that man, you got to throw an axe in his back. I can't live like that. If I'm comfortable with that, that ain't me. And that's why I say I never really try to change my personality. I ain't trying to front for them. Either you like me for me, but I know my heart is good as gold. I ain't trying to take nothing for nobody. You work hard and you honestly earned it. I respect you. But a lot of people that moved up, they ain't had to work. They just were given to them because it's who they know. And the people that, because of this color of the skin, they can get certain places I can't get. I got to work, and the people got to respect me. And then I have a few people who I do know now, they have opened doors for me, and I salute them and I respect them and I thank them, because I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for them. But I had to grow up in this cold world, and it's called America. You either going to get bitter about it or you can get better about it. I ain't going to let it go and tear me down, and make me bitter. It just made me sharper, make me wiser. It made me know who I can trust, who I can't trust. You can tell people by the action, not by what they say. Their actions move louder than the words. I never go by, I ain't moved by somebody, what they say to me. I'm moved by what somebody show me. Because I had all my life, I done heard this, and I had very few people that had action, unless it was negative. If it was negative, they was 100 and with action. But if it was positive, they was more slower than a snail and a turtle. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm moved by your actions, not by your words. But yeah, they the two experiences I had. My last one, it kind of like, I'm still kind of dealing with that, because I'm like, I did everything to help build this company. And that was just the last draw that made me leave. But it was multiple things, even with that last company, that I kept seeing. Even like I said, they moved all the blacks out the office and brought in them, and then threw us in the field, and they started tripping on us. Even the dude who was I was his prodigy, who was over me. He been in the office all them years. They threw him out there, and he was like in his 60s, and he was kind of bugging about that. But that's corporate America. You live and you learn.
Yep.
And I tell anybody, even you will never know how somebody really feels and say you understand, unless sometimes you could trade places, like Eddie Murphy. But I mean, for a whole day, anybody who's another shade can never know how a black man feel unless he physically turned black for a whole month or two and work in a black man's shoes to understand how the other people look at you and sometimes people treat you. And that's the only way you can ever. You can't look at somebody and see how they go through, because a lot of people know for a fact that they got an upper hand and they got it better than us. Because even you done seen like seminars, what's her name, Jane something? She was saying, how many of y'all will want to be black for a day? And this is a white lady saying that, and everyone went on put their hands up. They say, so you don't want to be black for? And the reason, because she basically said, so you know how it is. You see what's going on, but y'all just don't acknowledge it or say much. Y'all keep it quiet. So you see how they're being treated in America. And that's a fact. We are not being treated like the top of the line. Because right now, and I ain't none of my business, but I can see America's uprising. I'm just going to share this and I'm off it. There's a lot of immigrants coming over here, and we got a lot of homeless people over here, and we got a lot of people that ain't got a lot of stuff over here. And these immigrants getting all type food stamp cards with $1,300 on it a month. They get $13,000 on it a month, and they getting I think what's it, $5,000 a month, and they ain't got to do nothing but just come over here and they get all that. And I ain't never got that since I've been came my mama wound on this on my own land. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can see certain things in a way, and this might been a little sidetracked off of what the topic was, but it's just what it is in America, being a corporation or anything. Us being black, we got to work harder. We got to be smarter. We got to sometimes go through things and be humble. We got to still show love. We still got to respect the people who's over top of us. Sometimes you got to bite your tongue, and sometimes you just speak your heart. And regardless of the consequences, they might respect you. They might get rid of you, because sometimes people don't like people to stand up because they want you to fear them and be terminated while you working under them. But they don't want you to be a man, and being a man sometimes is taking a stand regardless of what consequences goes on, because you're gonna sleep better and feel better about yourself than feeling like you just bowed down and somebody put their foot on your head, like on Virginia logo. You know, the woman or the man got his foot on the top of the head.
The woman,
the woman put her foot on their head, got them squished down. You know, I'd rather be feel comfortable when I go to bed and sleep good, knowing that I deal with a situation that I can live with.
Right. The reality is that I think you were talking about switching places, if they could switch places. And I'm going to tell you a story. When I was at the bank, the same bank I was telling you about, where it was real family oriented. Every other Friday, I would go out with two girls. One day we went to Friendly's, and it's typically like an old people spot. But the two girls I was with, we were all probably in our 20s, and one of the girls was pregnant. So it's two white girls and me, and one was pregnant. And we walked in, and there was a table of these old white women, and they were over there. You could tell they was talking and whispering and making faces and all of that. And I ain't paying no attention to it because, I've been black all my life. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But what was going on is they thought that baby was mine. And she felt that. And you know what I told her? I said, you just got a taste, a very small taste of what it is to be black. A very small taste. And I said, they think your baby is my baby. That's why they hate you. You're worse than me right now, because they think that baby that you carrying is mine. And both of the girls, they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it was some outer worldly situation that had occurred. But it's the stuff we deal with all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. See that?
There's so many stories that you could just talk about, and people gonna always look at it ain't like that. No, it's like that. And I learned early growing up, the difference. Like, cause like when you kids, you innocent. You don't know that, because one of my best friends was a white guy, and it was Eric. When I was all the way in first, second, and third, we was like cool. And as I got older, that's like after third and fourth, that's when I started seeing that there was a difference. You know what I'm saying? But you don't
Did
you
you
growing
see?
up.
Okay, so you all were friends. When, like, what happened? Do you remember
No,
exactly
I mean,
what
we
happened?
did not happen between us. I'm talking about we were still always cool, but I
Yeah,
was just saying we with different schools. But I'm like, he was one of my best friends,
yeah.
and you know that I ate lunch with. We chilled, we joked, we did everything together. I act silly, he act silly. We got in trouble together. It was just that I didn't see no black and white until I got like in middle school. Then I started seeing like going to Crowder. June was a map that even when you left, like if I had to walk home from school, you would hear people calling you the N word and stuff like that, or trying. That's when you started seeing and feeling. Then you, like I said, getting in my job and working, and you started seeing what you heard, but you never experienced until you start experiencing it. Oh, this is real. Then you see how you get older, how the police harass you and stuff for no reason, or just like I went to the store for my grandma. And I remember I was working in the shipyard. I would come home and they get behind me and flashing lights. And I had just went to the store for her, and they snatched me out the car and handcuffed me for no reason. And they handcuffed me for no reason. And the next thing I know, they going all through the bags, dumping the groceries out, this and that. And I'm still in my team, just getting a car, working, trying to be, citizen of America, doing what's right. And as I'm sitting in the car, I think I had a red Escort at the time, and they up there talking about a red Central. But I was the car, so I'm sitting in the back of that car, and I'm fussing like, "What you do? I ain't got to tell you nothing." Then I'm trying to get the badge numbers, but they so nasty, and they didn't even tell me what it was. But the car was for a red Nissan. I got my work clothes on, which is a work jumper, my work boots on, my hard hat right here beside me, groceries, but they all in my car violating my rights.
Yep.
And I'm so used to that growing up, even going out to trespassing. If I'm going to see somebody like my boy Paul, I don't like those names out there, but just going because his mama started Paul, I was with him. We get in the rats. He just want to check on his mama. They pull us over, harassing us. Want to give us charges, or just going through my pockets because you think you selling crack. They want to go filling. This is stuff that I haven't experienced. That even like somebody who did steal when I was in Atlanta, being around, like, I ain't gonna say his name, but even the white dude, I'm gonna go in the store with a white dude, and just like my friends, some of my friends got the same story. They so busy watching us, we'll go in there with a white dude, and they'll steal out the whole store,
Yep.
and then come out there and give us what? Because they liked us to walk in there to be the distraction. They so comfortable watching us, like we getting ready to do something. They robbed the whole store and just giving us stuff. All they just want to y'all walk over there, get their attention, and we do that, and we just like looking at stuff, and they cleaning the whole store. So it's like when you grow up seeing this type stuff, it makes you, and the people are in denial until America sit down and have a great conversation about this, which a lot of people ain't gonna believe you. These stories are real, and in their heart they know it's real because they see it, but they turn a blind eye. It's no different than we see somebody black on TV getting murdered by a police, and you got a few people who march, but somebody say one thing about a Jew, the whole world shuts down. Until
Mm-hmm.
we get that same respect that we shouldn't be disrespected, and especially in our own country. I don't care if people don't believe they from here, as long as you're born on this continent, this your country.
That's right.
Uh, don't never let somebody tear you down in your own home, and then you bringing other people over here, and they get more respect than you, and they didn't help build this country. They wasn't here. Their grand ancestry wasn't here for this country. Their ancestors didn't build this country. Their ancestors didn't purge for this country like we did. And then you make me feel like I'm the lessest of all the people in this country. That's a big problem.
Oh my goodness. So, yes, I wanted to ask another question to everybody. Thank you for that, Chris, and everybody. This has been an excellent conversation. I have about two more questions. The first is, as a black man in America, how are you dealing with your mental health? How do you, with everything that you go through on a daily basis? How do you manage? How do you manage not to lose it? How do you take care of your mental health?
I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna short mine's up now because I did enough talking.
All right.
Fabulous.
Honestly, I take herbs. I try to eat a little better. I look at a lot of videos. I try to be informational. I learn how to don't hold on to stuff because it makes you bitter. It can kind of corrupt your heart and mind. I just try to meditate. I'm learning to meditate more. I'm learning to like know that, the things we go through make us wiser. As you get older, you get wisdom. Not to try to be the same immature person I was when I was 20, 25, 30, handling the same situations. I'm growing. I can't change the people around me, but I can change me. I'm not going to let somebody live in my head, rent free because I'm mad at what they said or did all day. I'm going to live my life because if I keep holding on, hindering what they said, they going about their life. And every moment and every day, I'm still holding on what they said while they enjoying their life. I could die tomorrow and I'm dying. My last days are worrying about what they did and said. So it's like, unless there ain't no tragedy going on with me and them, hey, you over there, I'm over here. I'm gonna enjoy my life. I'm gonna get, even when I work, I'm gonna let my stress off and I'm gonna do what I can to be happy. Because again, like I said, the end, life is too short. Treat yourself. Life is too short. Don't let somebody take your happiness away, take your peace away. That's the most precious thing in life, to be happy and peaceful. Enjoy your life.
Absolutely.
All right. Of course, I'm gonna be brief. My thing is to leave work at work. When I go in, that's when I think about it. When I leave, that's when I stop thinking about it, because I like to disconnect from work at that point. My job, I don't think about it until I have to go in. I'm focused on whatever little personal projects I want to do for myself, read, go out, whatever. As I've gotten older, I've realized I'm more detached from the job. When it's my time, it's my time. When it's their time, you get my attention. But after that, I don't care. That's how I keep my mental health focused, because I got a whole other slew of things that I got going on outside of work that need my attention more than just what the job has.
Well, for me, I've grown and matured to the point where I just want people to be who they are. There was a point in time like, you shouldn't do that. You should do this. Nah, you do what you think you need to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to be me, you be you. And that's how we can interact. And it's easy for me now. I mean, Chris know, man, I'm trying to save so many people, in so many different ways and so many different capacities, and, to try to, help. But you can't help somebody don't want to be helped. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people, that's just not their path. Just because I think that might be the path for them, it don't mean that's their path. So for me, life is easier for me when I let people be who they are, and then I am who I am. And if I want to say something, whether it's going to change something or not, if I want to say it, I'm going to say it. And if I decide I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep doing me, and being happy.
That's right.
And that's what it is. Life is too short. I just lost both my parents over an 8-month span. And I look at the world different, because the world is different for me now. It is not the same when I wake up every day. It is different. And it's not to the point. I'm very fortunate because I lived a long life with grandparents and parents. And now, here I am moving into the senior years, and I can focus on me. It's a bittersweet situation. I always pour into the people that surround me and that are around me. Anybody that knows me, that really got a relationship with me, knows that I pour into my people. But I will not, at this stage of my life, I mean, this probably been for the, maybe the last couple of years, I'm not going to pour more than you want to drink.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's all. If you can drink a teaspoon, that's all you're going to get. And I'm going to move on. Give you the teaspoon, I'm going to keep on. You want a full glass? I'll give you a full glass. But other than that, I am focused on me. I'm focused on my family. I'm focused on, trying to maintain a certain, or create a certain legacy that I would like to have to be here when I'm gone. Because, it's true. We all are born to die. And what we do in between that time frame is the real difference. And if we could start understanding, number one, it's not all about you, but it is about you. You got to focus on you, because if you're not your best, you can't bring your best. So you got to focus on being your best, but you also have to understand you're a part of a community, and you could be the missing piece that's needed, that's lost, that's unfound. But if that's the case, bring it, show up, use it, but don't overdo it, because overdoing it, you could be in the way too. You have to be present, because just like right now, we're in this conversation. This is where we are right now. And I hope the people that's viewing, I hope you're here right now. I hope you're paying attention to what's going on right now. And I hope you can benefit from the conversation that we've had today, because you're not going to get this type of commentary in a lot of different places. But you got to look inside yourself. First thing you got to do is know who you are. You can't help nobody. You can't help yourself until you start spending time with yourself. Meditation is key. Okay? When you get in the car, sometimes don't always just jump in and turn the radio on. Sometimes you need to ride in silence so you can hear your own thoughts and get some of your own information that's being put out there for you. Because only you can deliver certain things. There's certain things that only can come from you. That's why we're all individuals. And I just like to lead people with that from it. Just understand that you are actually an individual with something special about you. That's why you're here. You got a time frame to share it. Don't waste it.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Chris, Big, Raymond. I want to end the show on that fabulous note. Being a Black man in America, it is difficult, but we had a fabulous conversation. We learned a lot about how to live your best life now, being present, speaking your mind, and leaving work at work. Don't take it home with you. We just learned so much. We would like to know some more about Raymond, Chris, and Big. Could you tell us more about where our viewers can find you, our family?
Well, along with our friend Derek D. Jones, we collectively known as the Get Established Show. We're a podcast that we talk about family and things that affect the Black community. So we're all about uniting us together as one, as a culture and as family, and build up each other. We have a YouTube channel, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. That's Get Established Show.
All that information will be in the description. Thank you for being here. And if you like what you see and you're feeling the vibe, then subscribe and join the tribe. Until next time, see you. Peace out.